Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and thanks for coming, joining me on the channel today. We've got something to do over here across town. This is an interesting job because when I first started my mobile mechanic business out here about 3 years ago, I think this was the very first job I ever did, and we're going to go warranty it. So this was an idler pulley. Well, it's a tensioner and pulley, the tensioner unit with the pulley on it. That we replaced on an old van of a friend of mine's here across town, and it has started to make noise again. So it may need to be tightened down. I've got some wrenches. We're going to go over there and we'll either diagnose it or get it tightened back down. So yeah, it's been about 3 years. So my guess is it probably just needs to be tightened back down. We'll see. We'll get over there. I remember it took me quite a while to get to, and it was the first video I ever filmed for YouTube. That's what it was. I think he was the first customer I ever had, and I started a different YouTube channel that no longer exists, and that was a video the very first video I ever published on YouTube. It wasn't on this channel. Maybe I'll see if I can find it, but I doubt it. I think it's gone, and we'll head over there and get this tightened down. So come with me, and we'll see if we can get this figured out. All right, so here we are with this vehicle. It's not running right now. The battery's looks like it's probably dead, which it's a new battery, so it's probably got some sort of draw in it. The tensioner's down there. I forgot my nice flashlight, but I can't see it moving. I can't feel it loose, but when it's running, you can see it kind of dancing a little. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that tensioner. It was something I did like 3 years ago, and it should have a warranty. So that's that. We'll go get the tensioner, and we'll be back here to replace that. All right, and for the tool giveaway, I'm gonna give one of these battery testers away. These are a pretty nice battery tool with a printout, so we can go in here, do a battery test. And this digital battery tester with printout is by 𝑒𝐲𝑆, and there's a link in the description for it. It'll be at the top of the description if you want to check it out. So we'll start with cold cranking amps. We've got 800 cold cranking amps we'll set it to, and it'll tell us how it looks. Okay, good. It just needs to be recharged. So, sometimes battery testers will say, hey, your battery's dead or it's alive. This one will tell you this battery's fine, but it does need to be recharged. So we can go here now, and then we can do a printout. So here we have a printout of that battery test. Good, needs to be recharged. All right, so that's this little battery tester. All you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment down below, and I'll choose a random subscriber to give this battery tool away to, and then you'll have your nice little battery tester with the printout. Well, here we are. It's the next day, and it is snowing pretty hard. So I woke up about 2 hours ago, and there was nothing on the ground, and so it's coming down pretty good. This is the next day because yesterday I had a couple of emergencies come through, and they were fine with me doing their vehicle in the morning rather than in the evening because I had some homework due. So I got the tensioner. We're gonna load up the truck and head across town and get that tensioner put on for him. So I'll see you over there. All right, here we are. So I've got my sockets were in the back of my pickup truck, so they got covered in snow. No big deal because it's below freezing, so it's not going to melt and get those all wet. And I replaced the alternator recently, like a couple months ago, so pretty fresh on my mind how to get everything out of there. And then we've got the new tensioner here, and I'm just going to double check it looks the same, because I did give them the info for the vehicle off the top of my head, but I know I said 3.3 liter. It just depends on if it's the same year and everything. Let's see. Yeah, looks good. And this one screws in from the back. The first time I replaced it, that's what was weird about it. And it's going to be tough again to get to that. But I've got a few different wrenches this time than I had 3 years ago, so it shouldn't be quite so difficult as I remember it being 3 years ago. But we'll get that alternator out of there, and then I've got to, again, reach around from the back and fiddle around with that. So here we go. All right, here we go. All right, there we got the alternator out. Didn't take too long, probably about 10 minutes, and we're down to the tensioner now. Again, it sits underneath the alternator, but it bolts on from the back. So rather than just push it out of the way, I took the alternator out to give myself the most amount of room to get back there and get a wrench on this. Oh yeah, I can feel it now. The bearing in that pulley is bad on that tensioner, so it's got a bit of play in there. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get back there with this one. If not, I've got a 1/4-inch drive that'll work. This may give me enough room back there. I think when I did this a few years ago, it was pretty tough. I remember it taking a long time. I think I never pulled that alternator all the way out of there because this is, I've pretty much got it out already. I used a normal wrench and just getting this nut off. There it is. There's the tensioner. So super simple. That's a pretty quick job actually, gonna be like 30 minutes. But you can see there the play in that bearing. So it shouldn't be like that. Here's the new one. We'll go back in real quick and we'll be back together here in another 10-15 minutes. As long as I don't drop this. I've dropped like 2 nuts in this engine bay and I've never found them. So this one has eaten pretty much everything I've ever dropped in it. So I'm not going to do that. All right, tensioner's in. I want to put the alternator in, but before I do, I'm going to push this adjustable guide back out so it's not so tough to get on, because if you don't push these back in, you've got to really wiggle it to get on, because when you tighten it down, these close in. So I'll show you what it looks like. This will go in. Igual si te quedas en Provo, hay muchos latinos. Necesitarían alguien que hable español en un banco o donde sea.
Sí, lo que tengo que hacer es seguir como estudiando un poco más y entrar a través de...
All right, so we've got this pushed back. You can see it's protruding out the other side now. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in there, and it should go together pretty simple here. All right, there you have it, 34 minutes and everything's in together and tightened down. So that's a job well done. We got that battery reconnected since we messed with the alternator. I undid that. Thanks for watching on this snow day. You see the snow out there. Consider subscribing if you like the video, and we'll see you on the next episode.